Welcome, 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 Cacaoistas, to our cacao ceremony, where we'll be connecting you with the fairy realm and with your own personal fairy spirit guide. My name is Sorrel, plant spirit medicine woman. The other meaning of my name, Sorrel, is fairy bells, and this plant is considered to be much loved by the fairies. And when I was growing up, I believed I could see the fairies. That ability or that perception has changed. I now feel that I can only see such things with my eyes closed and with my imagination. But for me, it's just as real when I connect in with my imagination. And I'd like to guide you through the same experience and see what comes through for you, what wisdom comes through for you, perhaps some healing, perhaps some understanding. And so to do this work together today, or this play, because work's not quite the right word when you work with the fairies. They're very playful beings, very creative beings. Doing it with cacao as well as an optional extra, I'm going to guide you through the practice of cacao ceremony today. Now, if this is your first time drinking cacao, then I invite you to relax into this ceremony for the first time, trusting that Mama Cacao will open up your heart chakra, open up your third eye, so that you can see with not just your third eye, but also your heart's eyes into the spirit realm today. And I'll be guiding you on a shamanic journey as well, which means that I will be giving you a guided meditation practice. And I'll explain a little bit more about that when we get to that part of our ceremony. So let's begin before we open our sacred space by cleansing our energy field. And we're going to do this cleansing energy practice so that we enter sacred space in the highest vibrational form we're in. I also would like to invite you to be super cozy, mainly because I am feeling super cozy too. So I want you to join me in the cozy feeling. I'm in my pajamas today. This is how I'm going to be dressed for the majority of the Christmas time or the Yuletide or the solstice time, to cozy up, to rest and retreat. I do the opposite of what most people do, which is to go out and party and get drunk and celebrate. I prefer at this time of year to do what my ancestors would have done, which is to retreat and to rest, so that when the springtime comes, we're fully awake, we're fully ready to embrace the spring. So if you're ready to cleanse your energy field, we're going to do this just with our hands, and I'm going to stand up to do it with you today. Okay. So hands in front of the heart. We are going to connect with our heart space, and we're going to gather energy from our heart. Our heart is a portal for energy, for love and for light. And we're going to bring that energy and we're going to take it up over the top of our heads, and then we're going to cleanse the outside of our energy field. Then we're going to come back and do the same with the middle layer, which is the emotional layer. And then the next layer is the physical layer. So let's do that together now. Hands in front of your heart space. Start to scoop your love and your light from the heart up over the top of the head. We open our arms up to the universe. We love the universe. We share our love with the universe. And then we allow the universe to share us with love and light too. We invite that love and light in. Now this is a Kiro shamanic practice. This is from the shamans of the high Andes. And this is how they cleanse their energy field. So now follow me as we wash the outside of our bubble clean. Cleaning away any projections from other people, any pressures, any societal stories, washing it all the way down to the ground. We don't want that stuck to our energy field. We need to be clean so that we can enter sacred space in the highest vibration possible. Thank you, Mama Earth. As we're giving this energy to the floor, we're giving it to Mama Earth, remembering that she's a powerful sorceress and she can gobble up all that heavy energy and transform it for us, the same way she composts our banana skins. Now let's come back to our heart space and let's do the emotional layer. Feeling the heart expand, feeling it pour love and light into the hands. Let's scoop it up over the head, open up to the universe. Now bring the love and light in from the universe and bring it all the way through the energy field, cleansing any sticky emotions, anxieties, worries, stresses, depressions, anything that you don't want in your energy field, all the way down to the ground. Thanking Mama Earth for taking that away and transforming it into something more beneficial, more nourishing for us and the whole planet. Thank you. Coming back to the heart space. Feeling that heart chakra open and expand. Filling your hands up with love and light. Scooping it up over the top of the head. Opening up to the universe. Thank you, universe. Showering us with love and light. And now we bring that through the physical layer. So you might want to imagine that coming in through the top of the head, moving through the physical cells of the body and the spaces in between, but also through the meridians, the chakra system, all the way through that physical and energetic layer of the body, all the way down to the ground. Thank you, Mama Earth, for taking any sticky energies away, any energies which don't serve me, don't serve my highest good. Just take them away, please. Transform them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Coming back to center. Okay. Now we have cleared our energy field as best we can using that Kiro practice. I'm going to come and sit with you again, and I'm going to take my cacao cup. Now, I have drunk my cacao. Now, this is basically because I need to talk a lot while you are doing your drinking of cacao. And we are going to be offering our cacao to the 7 directions as we call them in. Okay, so I'm going to face east to begin. This is where the sun rises. So if you know where the sun rises, you might want to turn and face east as we call in the sacred directions. And the intention of calling in the sacred directions is to create a sacred space, a little bit like when we're tuning in a radio. We tune into the radio station we want, and then we can't hear all the other noise that's on all the other radio stations. And this is what we're doing in our ceremony today. We're calling in love, we're calling in light, we're calling in the fairies, we're calling in our guides, our helpers, our friends. And we're setting up the space and we're tuning in so that only the good stuff can affect us today. Okay. So let's begin in the east. I'm going to turn my back to you just as we do this. And we welcome in our friends in the east. We welcome the rising sun, the dawn, the new day. We welcome the spirit of fire. Thank you for your transformational energy. Help us to burn away anything which no longer serves us so that we're ready for what's coming. We also welcome Condor and Eagle. Please take us under your wings. Help us to fly high into the ether. Carry our prayers and intentions with you so that we can bring home visions that can help us to navigate the path ahead. Beloved ones, we welcome you and share our cacao with you. Aho! Now we face the south direction. Beloved spirits of the south, we welcome you. We welcome the water, the flow of life, the day, the warmth of the noon sun. We welcome Mama Snake. Mama Snake helps us to shed the past. We need to shed the past so that we can expand, so that we can evolve. And also, Mama Snake teaches us how to walk softly upon the earth, the way the fairies do. Gently moving in connection, heartbeat to heartbeat with Mother Earth. I recently heard that Mother Earth's heartbeat, the vibration that we hear, the resonance that she's giving out has changed. She's raised her vibration, and we're raising our vibration with her if we want to travel with her into the new way. So let's tune into the vibration of the earth now, connecting heartbeat to heartbeat with Mother Earth like Mama Snake does, so that we can be in harmony with her as she transforms. We welcome you and share our cacao with you. Aho. Now we're going to connect in with the west. Spirits of the west, we welcome you. We welcome the dusk and the setting sun. We welcome the people we've already become. We have been on a long journey. So let's just celebrate how far we've come so far. Also, we want to welcome in the earth, the fertility of life. We want to welcome in Mama Jaguar, the archetypal energy of the warrior or the warrioress. Please help us to be brave. Please help us to face any shadows, any parts of ourselves which need to heal, any parts which need to come back into the light for integration. Beloved ones, we welcome you. Thank you for your protection and your medicine today. Aho, and we share our cacao with you. Now we're going to connect in with our friends in the north direction. Beloved spirits of the north, we welcome you. We welcome the night and the bright moon shining. We welcome the air and clarity of thought. We welcome our ancestors, those who have passed before us and those who are yet to be born. We welcome you all. Please help us to know the path in the moment that we're in this timeline on Earth. Please help us to connect to the now and what's important for us to do today, in this moment. We welcome in the spirit of Hummingbird. Hummingbird teaches us to trust this long journey that we're on. She reminds us to trust. She reminds us to only take in the best into our lives, as she only drinks the sweetest nectar. Now, I think this is a particularly important message at this time of year, because traditionally we would be binge eating lots of chocolates, lots of sugar, lots of alcohol, all the stuff that makes us sick. And so Hummingbird reminds us to only eat and drink the best, and in every other way, only accept the best into your life. So tuning into Hummingbird for this lesson, we welcome you, aho, and we share our cacao with you. Now I'd like to connect us all into Mama Earth's energy a little bit more. Connecting in by dropping down to the floor. If you'd like to join me, you can touch the floor, symbolically connecting to Mother Earth if we're not outside, actually connecting to Mother Earth in a physical way. We're connecting with her through our imagination, feeling her energy, feeling her vibrations through the floor. We're inviting her to our ceremony. We're thanking her for everything that she's brought to us this year and all the years of our lives, for the food, for the shelter, for these bodies that we exist in. We wouldn't be here without her. We thank you, Mama Earth. We also need to thank all our Earth relations. We thank the animals, the furry, feathered and finned, the creepy crawly and the slithery slimy. We connect in with the plant people, particularly Mama Cacao. We want to also connect in with the stone people and the mushrooms, the viruses, the bacteria, and the fairies, the invisible ones, the gnomes, the elves, all the magical beings that are invisible that live in this earth plane. We welcome you to our ceremony today. We ask you that you find us a connection today with our specific fairy guide. Who would like to work with us today? Which fairy would like to come and journey with us into our imagination to help us to be better versions of ourselves, the best versions of ourselves? We welcome you. Thank you for the healing that you offer us and the teachings you bring. We share our cacao with you all. Aho! Now we're going to connect in with the space above us. Wrapping around us is the wonderful teacher, Father Sky. We welcome you, Father Sky. We thank you for wrapping your loving arms around us. For the breath of life, the winds of change, the blue skies, the grey. We also want to thank you for this protection, the shield of energy that you wrap around us so that we can breathe in the void of space. It's so amazing. We want to thank you for the ability that you give us to hear the sound, the vibrations that the gongs are going to be bringing through today. Without Father Sky, we wouldn't be able to hear. There would be no sound on Earth. So thank you, Father Sky. Thank you, and we share our cacao with you today. We want to thank as well Grandmother Moon for this magical new moon energy. We want to thank Cosmic Realm, the star nations, all our cosmic relations, and our specific star, the sun, Grandfather Sun, Ra. We welcome you and share our cacao with you today as we move into the darkest time of year in the northern hemisphere, or perhaps you're joining me from the other side of the world and you're celebrating summer solstice. We can all connect with Ra, the sun god. Thank you for joining us in ceremony today. We share our cacao with you all. Aho. And the final direction is Great Spirit. Thank you, Great Spirit, for joining us in ceremony today. Great Spirit has 1,000 names, yet is still unnameable. Great Spirit is known as the creative force that flows through all things. Thank you for this matrix and our experience herein. However you connect to that energy, just tuning in, because there are so many stories, there are so many ways to connect. And on the shamanic path, there are no dogmas about what you should or should not believe. It's your own exploration of the truth and a discussion. So let's connect in with the creative force of all that is and share our cacao with that creative energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we share our cacao with ourselves. As I've said, I've already drunk mine in preparation for our ceremony, so I can be the highest vibrational being possible for you today, even though I'm ready to hibernate and snuggle up in my pajamas pretty much for the next month. I'm still here, welcoming you, celebrating with you one last time online, before I come out of my little cave in January to welcome you for the next one. Okay, so while you are drinking your cacao, I'm going to spend about 5 minutes explaining to you the journey that we're going to go on together. This is a shamanic journey, which means that I will be guiding you into the spirit realm. Now, the spirit realm is all around us all of the time. We like to put things in boxes. We like to separate things out in our minds so that they make more sense for us in the human way that we can perceive. And so shamanically, we talk about the world or consciousness being separated into 3 dimensions. This dimension that we're living in now together is the middle realm. This is where we experience reality in its everyday way. The upper realm, which we consider above us, although really it's all around us, is our connection to our higher self. It's our connection to our spirit guides. It's connection to our soul tribe, the beings that haven't transcended to earth at this time, who are holding space for us while we're doing this work, who are helping us, guiding us from that spiritual level. Our oversoul. When we come down into the lower realm, we are connecting with our inner realm, our subconscious or superconscious. This is a part of us that knows everything about us. It knows about all our past lives. It knows about all our future lives, all our parallel lives. It knows everything that we need to know. It can connect us up into this lower realm landscape by helping us to see it as an unspoilt world. So there's no concrete, or very rarely do I ever go into the lower realm and I find buildings. Most of the time it's forests and it's lakes and it's mountains and it's the most beautiful wilderness, magical wilderness. And in this magical wilderness today, we're going to travel to meet our fairy spirit guide. When I first did this journey for myself to check in that I was guiding you properly or in the best way for me, I left it open as to whether I would be taken up or down, because as I've said, you can connect with spirit guides above. When we're connecting down into the lower realm or inner realm, we can connect with animal spirits, spirits of the land, like a mountain or a tree or a stone. And when I journeyed into the spirit realm, they guided me, you need to go down to meet your fairy spirit. And so I wondered if this is because the fairies are living in the middle realm with us and are very much connected to the plant people and nature itself. And so when I travel down into the lower realm, this is where I was guided to meet my own fairy spirit guide. Now, I don't want to talk too much about my own experience because I don't want it to guide you particularly on your journey. I want your journey to be unique as possible. But I will just share with you what I feel is helpful, if that is okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that we're actually physically leaving our body. And quite often I will have described, if you've done this with me before, that we're imagining that there's a little fairy actually in our minds, a little spot of pure white light that's a little bit like Tinkerbell the fairy. And it's leaving our heads out through the crown chakra. It's going to fly to a place in nature. And it's going to travel to that place in nature, which I want you to imagine now. I want you to choose a place in nature where you would like to go. It needs to be in this earth, so middle realm. It could be your garden. It could be a forest. It could be a mountain. It could be a lake. It could be a cave somewhere. Anywhere at all, really, as long as you've been there. And I want you to connect to that landscape with your mind by imagine we're flying there physically or non-physically because we're using our fairy light. And then we're going to ground there, and then we're going to look for a way to go down. And that way to go down could be diving through a body of water. It could be walking into a cave. It could be opening a door, a fairy door in a tree, and going down a spiral staircase. It could be going through a hole in the ground, which is the way that I have always gone, through a hole in the ground that looks a bit like a place a fox would live, or a badger. It's quite a big hole under the roots of some trees. A little bit like Alice in Wonderland. So we're really tapping into our imagination. And if you are struggling at any point, if you're new to this type of work and you're struggling, just remember this is your imagination. You're making it up. And then at some point, just like dreaming, your imagination starts to give you messages back as well. And then we weave these stories together. We're co-creating from our own way of projecting our consciousness into our imagination, but also allowing ourselves to receive from the imagination information and wisdom that's coming through. When we travel down through that tunnel into the lower realm, into this unspoilt landscape, I'll guide you, not just to meet your fairy spirit guide, but also a power animal. So when I went down into the lower realm to meet my fairy, the first thing that happened was they gave me a power animal, which is a spirit animal guide, to guide me on the journey. So I'll be doing the same for you. That spirit animal protects you and guides you through that landscape. And it's very helpful to have a guide when you're going somewhere new. And so this animal came to me and it helped me to connect with the fairy as well. There were certain synchronicities between the type of animal that came through and the type of fairy that came through. And when we meet that fairy, I will guide you through a few questions, like you might want to ask your fairy its name. And then when you come back, you can look up what is the meaning of that name. It might be very symbolic for you, because names often have symbolic meanings. The other things we might want to set in place for our journey is an intention. If there is something that you would like to work through in your life at the moment, maybe you're looking for some healing, maybe you're looking for some kind of divination, some kind of choice to be made, whether you go this way or that way on a path that you're on at the moment. There's a fork in the road, or you're at a crossroads in life. Or, maybe you're just tuning in to explore the magic, and that's also absolutely wonderful to do that, just going on the adventure for adventure's sake. Okay, so now we've explained to you the journey in full. I hope that you are ready to get snuggly with me and relax. Now, some people will fall asleep. Now, that's also okay. It doesn't matter if you fall asleep during our journey. It's a time for deep rest, particularly at this time of year. But if you feel that you are automatically going to fall asleep and you want to remain fully conscious and remember the journey, then I'd suggest you sit up supported. So you're sitting up all snugly, eyes closed. You might want to dim the lights right down. You might want to put a face mask on. I like to have a journal ready as well when I journey, so I can scribble notes from my journey at the end. A glass of water and tissues just in case anything comes through and I need to have a little cry about it. Whether it's a cry from joy or sadness or whatever, some kind of tearful release, then that's nice to have the tissues handy for that too. But we're all ready to begin. So let's start. Okay. So I invite you to make yourself super cozy while I begin to wake up the gongs. Now the gongs are magical instruments that play 12 to 13 different sounds all at once. And this helps us to relax. This helps us to allow our brains to go into a shamanic state of consciousness where we can perceive the quantum field, information in the spirit realm that we might not ordinarily be able to perceive on a conscious level. But it's always there. It's just a little bit like having a TV, you know, when we play the gongs. It's like turning on the TV to the quantum field. Our mind can start to see the pictures that the quantum field is sending us. So by listening to the gongs and allowing your mind to be absorbed in the vibrations of the gongs and the sounds that the gongs are making, you're giving yourself permission to awaken that subconscious mind, that shamanic consciousness, expanding into your imagination. And know that I'm going to hold you safe and I'm going to call you back into your physical body in a little while. This journey's going to last, maybe half an hour or so, a little bit longer maybe, so that you can experience a deep rest and have time to weave the magic that you need today with your fairy guide and your spirit animal guide before coming home and integrating all of this information. So now let's take some deep breaths. Maybe 3 long deep breaths in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth, just letting go of any tension that you're holding, particularly in the chest and the shoulders. Breathing in peace and breathing out love. Now I want you to start relaxing through the physical body, through the forehead, just giving it permission to rest and soften. Now relaxing around the eyebrows and around the eyes, the muscles of the eyelids, just softening and resting. Feeling those eyelids getting super heavy, super soft, super relaxed, so they can't be bothered to open for a little while. Softening down into the jaw, the cheeks, the mouth and the tongue. Softening down into the neck, into the shoulders now. Just drooping those shoulders maybe an inch or two. Allowing that relaxation to spread into the upper arms, into the forearms, into the hands and the fingers. Just letting your fingers go loose and limp. Relaxing down through the back, the muscles either side of the spine. Allowing your back to rest gently, supported by the cushions or the floor beneath you, wherever you are. Allowing that relaxation to spread through the rib cage, across the back and into the front of the chest as well. Your breathing can soften even more, expanding more, breathing out any tension. Breathing in relaxation. That relaxation spreading down through into the abdomen and the lower abdomen. Down into the pelvis and the hips. Down into the thighs, softening the legs now. The muscles of the front, the backs and the sides of the thighs, all just settling down now, relaxing, letting go. That relaxation spreads even further, all the way through the knees, into the calves, into the shins, into the ankles. Now all the way into the feet. The muscles at the top of the foot, the sole of the foot, the sides. And then finally reaching the toes. Now if you've got any energy left in the body which feels tense or uncomfortable, then just imagining that your hands and your feet, which have chakras in them, are releasing that heavy energy down into the earth beneath you. I imagine that there's windows or doors in the palms and the soles of my feet, and I'm just imagining that they're opening up and releasing. And in replacement of that heavy energy comes light and comes love to fill that space. Mama Cacao is going to be doing her work for you now already as well, as she moves from your digestive system into the physical, into the bloodstream, into the lymphatic system, helping you to relax, helping you to connect, helping you to awaken your heart chakra and your third eye, helping you to heal, helping you to see what you need to see, giving you new awareness and new perceptions. We're going to awaken our third eye consciousness with a visualization practice. And And I want you to remember that it's not important whether you're a visual person or not. When I say see, I mean sense. So I want you to imagine now that your mind is completely empty, like the void of space, a dark, dark black void, except for one tiny point of light right in the center of the mind. And that little tiny white point of light is a star. It's a star far away in the distance in space, but you can see it sparkling. And it starts to become bigger and brighter and bigger and brighter, like a shooting star that's coming towards you. It starts to fill up the void. That white light filling up the whole of your mind now. And as it fills up the whole of the void in your mind, it starts to expand into the physical. It starts to fill up into the neck, into the shoulders, into the features of your face, and into your hair. You begin to glow on the inside. It moves all the way down through the arms, hands and fingers, back, chest, abdomen, pelvis, legs, all the way through into the feet and toes. Allow it to expand now out of the body, first just an inch. Then allow it to fill up the whole of the aura that we cleansed earlier, about an arm's length around you, so that you feel as if you're standing in the center of a pure white light. And enjoy the sensation, the cleansing sensations that that brings. Allow your white light now to expand, to fill up the whole of the room that you're in, if you're in a room, if you're lucky enough to be journeying outside today, and filling up into the space around you, a few meters wide. And now let's all expand our energy fields out into the landscape around us, wherever you are, whether you're in an urban environment or whether you're in a countryside landscape. Let's go about a mile wide on either side. And on one side, we can feel into the landscapes around us. I've got a beach on one side, so I'm feeling into the sand and the waves on the shore. And on the other side, I've got trees and I've got parks, so I'm feeling into that urban environment, but also the park energy, people walking their dogs. So just tuning into where you are. Are you surrounded by trees? Have you got a body of water next to you? Are you next to a big rock or a mountain? What kind of earth are you on? If you feel down into the earth beneath you, what do you sense? Do you sense the squidgy, moist earth or the hard rocks? The roots of trees, the wiggly worms? As we connect above us a mile and we reach up into the sky, can you feel warmth or cold or rain? The rays of the sun or the light of the moon and the stars? Can you feel the birds flying through the air? Or are they nesting in the trees right now? Or on the rooftops if you're in an urban environment? Now let's start to bring our energy field back so that we can connect into the spirit realm more deeply. Coming back to the room that you're in. Now coming back to your auric field, the energy about an arm's length around you. Now coming back into the physical body, sensing where you begin and end as a physical being one more time before we lose that sense and go into spirit. Now drawing your awareness all the way back just to that tiny point of light in your mind's eye again. Bringing that energy all the way back until you can see or sense that tiny white light in your mind's eye in the void of space that fills your mind. So our mind is empty and ready to go on a journey with this white light, ready to receive. So let's remember the place in nature where you want to begin your journey today. And let's take that little white light and allow it to be released into the atmosphere through the crown chakra, which is right on the top of our heads. Maybe it wants to dance around the room one time, like a little fairy, and then it flies out through a door or a window into the outside world. And when you reach the outside, you are scooped up by a magical golden mist that supports you today on your journey, helps you to journey fast through the atmosphere, traveling across the urban environment and the countryside, forests and fields, rivers and roads, mountains and valleys. Maybe you're traveling across oceans or deserts. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the sensation of flying as if you're on a magic carpet, wrapped up in the wings of angels, all the way to your place in nature. And you start to see that place in nature coming into view now. And you start to feel yourself descending into it like an aeroplane coming into land. And as we land into our landscapes, our feet touch the ground, the golden mist subsides, and we start to connect. We start to sense this landscape more physically. I want you to connect with the texture of the earth beneath your feet. The sensation of the air on your skin, whether it's warmer or colder here. You might also notice it's a different time of year or a different time of day here than the place you've left your body. The smells of this place. All the sensations. Now we're all going to look for a way to go down the portal which will take us down into the lower realm. So look for that portal now. Whether it's a door in a tree, whether it's a hole in the ground, whether it's a body of water or a cave. How are you going to travel today? Look for the way, create the way. And on the count of 3, we're all going to go together. So make yourself ready to go. Walk up to that place, walk up to the portal. And let's start to journey together. 1, 2, 3. Through the portal we go, going down and round, deeper and deeper and deeper. Traveling down and round through the layers of rock, through the crystal caves, all the way through until we find ourselves coming out into a cave or into the landscape of the lower realm. Feel your feet touch the ground. Sense the texture of the earth beneath you. Noticing the sensations. I want you, if it's dark, to create light. If you're in a cave, you might want to light a candle or a torch. And I want you to start to call for your first guide, which is a spirit animal. Calling for our spirit animal, calling for our spirit animal, calling for our spirit animal today. Please come and meet me. I'm here to journey in the lower realm and I need your help to meet my fairy guide. And see who comes. If you were ever unsure if the animal that has come to you is the right one, perhaps you have a little fear of the animal that comes through, which is natural. You can ask 3 times, are you my spirit guide? Are you my spirit guide? Are you my spirit guide for today? And they will answer you correctly on the 3rd question. This is sometimes necessary when we meet with an animal that we're not 100% comfortable working with. sometimes these animals have teachings for us. And as this animal comes through for you, I want you to tune in to the messages that this animal has to bring for you. You might want to ask what special gifts this animal has, how it likes to live its life, what does it like to eat? What colour is your animal? Does it have fur or feathers or fins? Is it nocturnal or does it prefer to be out in the daytime? Does it hunt or does it eat vegetation? What kind of diet does it have? All of these different ways that this animal lives has a message within it. Thank this animal guide for coming through for you. And now it's time for us to begin the journey to meet our fairy guide. So I want you to explain now to your power animal, your spirit animal guide, that you'd like it to take you on the next phase of this journey to meet your fairy spirit guide. Now this animal might want to guide you into the landscape. You might fly together, you might swim together, you might gallop off into the sunset together, depending on what kind of animals come through for you today. And again, remembering the rule of 3, if you're ever unsure, just tuning in to the beings that you meet and asking, are you my fairy spirit guide if you're unsure? 3 times. And when you meet your fairy spirit guide, you might want to ask them, what's your name? What are your gifts and how can I work with you? How can you help me to grow as a human? How can you help me be a better human, more harmonious? How can you help me complete my mission on earth, the mission that I was born with? This is a new relationship, so give it some time. Sometimes the fairies are a little shy. Ask your spirit animal guide to help you if you need any help. Ask for clarification when you need clarification so that the messages are clear and easy to decipher. And most of all, have fun. Enjoy being with the fairies. They can be very playful, sometimes rather mischievous. fairies and good friends are equals. So let's offer ourselves in service. We've asked so much of our fairies today. So let's offer ourselves in service to the fairies, asking them what they need for us, from us. How may we honor them? How may we support them? How may we make space for them in our lives, in our gardens, in our homes, in our world? How might we be a good friend to the fairies? Also wish to ask how you will understand when they are present. How will you recognize them in your life? Will there be a noise or a sign of some kind? To recognize the fairies are with you when you come back to the middle world. Now it's time for me to call you home again. So thank your fairy friends for their energy, for their presence, for sharing what they've shared with you today, for teaching you what you needed to know. And now ask your spirit animal guide to bring you back to the portal, the place where you first entered this landscape. Travelling back through the landscape the same way as you've journeyed already, following the same path, coming all the way back to the entrance of the portal now so I can call you home. And now we're all at the base of the portal. There is a silver thread which connects you to your physical body, and it starts to tighten and it starts to pull you home, and you start to feel yourself being pulled up and round and up and round and up and round and up and round, higher and higher through the layers of the earth, through the rock and the crystal caves, through the roots of the trees, and then all the way till we pop out at the very top of the crust of the earth into the middle world. And when we reach that middle world, we're breathing the air of the middle world again. We're in our place in nature. The golden mist comes and it scoops us up and it lifts us high into the atmosphere. And we start to fly across the landscapes, feeling that silver thread tighten and pull us home all the way to our physical body, traveling across the rivers and the roads, the fields and the forests, the urban environments and the countryside, all the way back. You start to see where your body is resting, in a home, perhaps in a landscape somewhere, wherever your body is resting, coming into land in that space now, next to your body. Now finding your way back into your body through the crown chakra, coming back. Welcome home, everybody. Welcome back to your bodies. Now we are home from our long journey into the spirit realm. the longest journey within. In a moment, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you to journal, to reflect on the messages, the medicine that came through for you today. And I'd invite you also to leave me a comment below this video so that I can hear how you got on, what worked for you, who you met today, the name of your fairy, what messages your fairy brings through for us humans at this time. This is the part I enjoy the most, getting your feedback and learning from your discoveries in the spirit realm. So please do get in touch in whatever way works for you. And always remember to subscribe and like this channel if you have not already, so that we can expand this platform and help others to grow and connect through Mama Cacao and the Gongs and the Shamanic Journey process. As I've said many times before, we can heal this world, and let's begin with our own hearts. Let's heal our hearts, and then the world will flourish as we all come into harmony. And remember that love is the answer. So let's close our circle today. I'm going to use my rattle to say goodbye to all our friends that came to join us today, and including you in that releasing process. So let's begin in the east. Beloved spirits of the east, we thank you. We thank the dawn, the rising sun, the fire, the new beginning. We thank eagle and condor for your protection and your eyes today. And we release you from this ceremony. Aho! And we thank our friends in the south, the water, the flow of life, the day, the warmth of the sun, and Mama Snake for connecting us with the heartbeat of Mother Earth and helping us release. We release you. Aho! Connecting with our friends in the west, the dusk, the setting sun. We release Mama Jaguar. Thank you for your protection and for bringing us back into the light as we heal and integrate. We release you. Aho! Connecting with our friends in the north, the ancestors, hummingbird, the night, the bright moon shining. We release you. Aho! Connecting down with the earth and all our earth relations, visible and invisible. We love you and we release you. Aho! Connecting up with the sky. We thank Father Sky. We love you and release you. Aho! We release Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun, the star nations, and all of our cosmic realm relations. And we release Great Spirit. Thank you for joining us in ceremony today. Thank you for our experience of consciousness in this matrix and all there is. We particularly want to thank our fairies as well. Thank you to all the fairies that came through, to all the spirit animals that came through, and to all the beautiful two-legged beings, the humans that came through during our ceremony today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I release you all from this ceremony, and I hope to see you very soon in ceremony again. Thank you for joining me.